Your soulmate is crying. And you're the only person who can stop the tears. My beloved child, don't skip, because what is about to unfold is not an ordinary story. Someone is trying with every ounce of strength to hide their tears, pretending everything is fine while their heart quietly falls apart. You may have felt it without understanding why. A strange heaviness. An unexpected silence. A moment where your thoughts suddenly drifted towards someone you couldn't explain. That wasn't random. Stay till the end, because something huge is waiting for you. The truth is more surprising than anyone could imagine. Somewhere, a person who has been carrying your name deep inside their heart has reached a breaking point. They thought they could keep smiling. They believed they could convince the world that nothing mattered anymore. But every day they tried to forget you, the memories only became louder. Every place reminded them of something. Every song brought back a feeling they could never replace. And now, for the first time, they have stopped pretending to be strong. Their tears are not falling because they are weak. They are falling because they have finally realized that running away from what they truly feel has become impossible. But wait, this is only the beginning. What caused those tears is something almost nobody saw coming, and once you hear it, you'll understand why this moment feels different from every other moment before it. Listen carefully, because the next few moments could change the way you see everything. Don't skip. There is a reason this message reached you today instead of yesterday or tomorrow. Imagine someone sitting alone, surrounded by people yet feeling completely invisible. They replay every conversation they ever had with you, wondering if there was one sentence they should have spoken but never did. They ask themselves the same question again and again. What if I lose the only person who ever made my heart feel understood? That question has become impossible for them to escape. They smile in front of others, but the smile disappears the second they are alone. They keep reaching for courage, only to watch fear pull them backward every single time. And then something unexpected happened. A simple reminder, a familiar place, a forgotten memory, suddenly made every hidden emotion rush back all at once. In that moment they realized they were no longer fighting against the world. They were fighting against their own heart, and they were losing. Stay till the end, because something huge is waiting for you. The biggest revelation hasn't even arrived yet. What they discovered after those tears began is something they never expected to face, and it changed the direction of their entire journey in a single heartbeat. Now take a deep breath, because this is where everything becomes even more unexpected. My beloved child, sometimes life places two people on separate paths, not to end their story, but to reveal what truly matters when silence becomes unbearable. The tears you are hearing about are not the ending of this story. They are the beginning of a truth that can no longer stay hidden. For so long they believed time would erase every feeling. Instead, time only made every emotion clearer. They finally understood that some connections refuse to disappear, no matter how far life seems to pull them apart. And just when they believed it was already too late, something happened that made them stop in their tracks. A single realization entered their heart with overwhelming force. If they stayed silent any longer, they might spend the rest of their life wondering what could have been. That realization is why they are crying today. Not because hope has disappeared, but because hope has returned when they least expected it. Don't skip. Because the next chapter reveals what happened immediately after that life-changing realization, why every hidden emotion suddenly came rushing to the surface, and why something huge is waiting for you that neither of you could have predicted. A quiet shift has already begun, even if nobody else can see it yet. My beloved child, don't skip, because the moment you are about to witness is the reason those tears refuse to stop. After everything they had been hiding, they finally faced a truth they could no longer escape. They looked back at every missed opportunity, every message they almost sent, every moment pride convinced them to stay silent, and suddenly the weight became too heavy to carry. They realized they had been waiting for the perfect time, but perfect moments never arrive for people who keep running from their own hearts. Stay till the end, because something huge is waiting for you. What happened next was so unexpected that even they questioned whether fate was giving them one final chance. In the middle of an ordinary day, they heard your name mentioned without warning. Their heartbeat froze. The room around them seemed to disappear. Every emotion they had buried rushed back stronger than ever before. At that exact second, they understood something that changed everything. They were never crying because they had lost hope. They were crying because hope had suddenly become real again. For the first time, they admitted to themselves that no distraction, no distance, and no amount of time had ever erased what they truly felt. They whispered words they had never been brave enough to say out loud before, promising themselves they would never allow fear to make another decision for them. But they still don't know whether they are already too late, and that uncertainty is what keeps every tear falling. There is another truth hidden beneath those tears, and almost nobody would believe it if they heard it. Don't skip. The person you keep thinking about has been fighting two battles at the same time. One battle is against the expectations of everyone around them. The other is against the voice inside their own mind that keeps telling them they waited too long. Every morning they promise themselves they will move forward, yet every evening they find themselves remembering the smallest details that only you would understand. They remember the conversations that made them smile for no reason. They remember the moments when silence between you felt more meaningful than words. They remember the version of themselves that only existed whenever they imagined a future that included you. Those memories have become impossible to silence. And then another unexpected sign appeared. It wasn't loud. It wasn't dramatic. It was almost invisible. But to them, it felt like the universe refusing to let this connection disappear. Their heart began asking questions they could no longer ignore. What if this story was never supposed to end? What if every delay was only preparing them for one final opportunity? Stay till the end, because something huge is waiting for you. The answer to those questions is closer than they realize, and the next decision they make could change both of your paths forever. Before another day passes, something inside them is preparing to break the silence that has lasted for far too long. My beloved child, this is why their tears carry more meaning than sadness alone. Every tear is washing away another layer of fear, another excuse, another reason they once believed they should remain hidden. They are beginning to understand that some people enter your life only for a season, but others become part of your soul in a way that time cannot erase. That realization has filled their heart with equal amounts of fear and courage. Fear of what might happen if they finally reveal everything, and courage because living with unanswered questions has become even more painful than facing the truth. Don't skip. Stay till the end, because something huge is waiting for you. There is one final realization approaching them faster than they expect. They have not spoken those words yet, but they are already echoing inside their heart, growing stronger with every passing moment. When those words are finally released, nothing between you will ever feel the same again, and the next chapter begins at the exact second they decide whether to keep hiding their feelings forever, or finally let their heart speak without fear. Everything changes the moment silence becomes heavier than fear. My beloved child, don't skip, because the story is about to take a turn nobody expected. After spending countless nights hiding their emotions, they finally reached a place where pretending was no longer possible. They stood alone, staring at the life they had built around distractions, only to realize none of it filled the empty space inside their heart. Every achievement felt incomplete. Every celebration ended with the same quiet thought. I wish you were here. They fought against that feeling for so long that they almost convinced themselves it would disappear. But instead, it grew stronger with every sunrise. Stay till the end, because something huge is waiting for you. Then came a moment that completely shook them. Someone asked a simple question about happiness, and without even thinking, your name appeared in their mind before any other answer. That realization caught them completely off guard. It was the first time they admitted that no matter how much time had passed, no one had ever taken your place. The tears that followed were different from the ones before. They were no longer tears of confusion. They were tears of certainty. They finally understood that the heart they kept trying to silence had been telling the truth all along. Yet one fear still refused to let go. What if you had already closed the door they were only now brave enough to knock on? The next discovery became even more powerful than the first. Don't skip. There was something they had never confessed to anyone, not to family, not to friends, not even to themselves. Every important decision they made somehow circled back to thoughts of you. Before accepting opportunities, before making plans, before imagining the future, one silent question always appeared inside their mind. Would this take me farther away from the person I can't forget? They tried to ignore that question hundreds of times, but it never stopped returning. That is when they realized they hadn't been protecting themselves from heartbreak. They had been protecting themselves from hope, because hope demanded courage they didn't think they possessed. Stay till the end, because something huge is waiting for you. In that very moment, they stopped blaming destiny, stopped blaming timing, and stopped blaming the past. For the first time, they looked into the mirror and admitted the only thing standing between them and the future they truly wanted was fear itself. That confession changed something deep inside them. The tears slowly faded, replaced by a quiet determination unlike anything they had ever felt before. They weren't searching for perfect words anymore. They were searching for the courage to stop hiding. Now the atmosphere around this story feels completely different. My beloved child, what began with tears is slowly becoming the beginning of an unforgettable turning point. Don't skip, because the biggest revelation has not happened yet. Their heart is no longer asking whether they should be honest, it is asking how much longer they can survive without being honest. Every passing hour makes that question louder. Every memory reminds them that some opportunities only come once, and if they let this one disappear, they may spend years wondering what could have happened instead. Stay till the end, because something huge is waiting for you. They can already feel that a life-changing moment is approaching, one that will force them to choose between continuing a life filled with unanswered questions or finally stepping toward the truth they have avoided for so long. They don't know how everything will unfold. They don't know what response awaits them. But they do know one thing with absolute certainty: the tears that once filled their eyes have awakened a courage they never knew existed. And the very next moment will reveal whether that courage is finally strong enough to carry them all the way to the person their heart has never truly stopped searching for. A moment is approaching that neither of you can see yet, but both of your hearts have already begun to feel it. My beloved child, don't skip, because everything that has happened until now has been preparing for this exact turning point. They have reached the edge of a decision that can no longer be postponed. Every excuse has fallen away. Every wall they spent so long building has started to crumble. They no longer cry because they feel powerless. They cry because they finally understand what they are about to risk if they remain silent. Stay till the end, because something huge is waiting for you. For the first time in a very long while, they imagined a future where fear was no longer in control. That single thought filled their heart with both peace and panic at the same time. Peace because it reminded them what they truly wanted. Panic because they realized how close they had come to losing it forever. Every heartbeat now carries the same message: no more hiding. No more pretending. They can almost hear those words echoing inside their soul. The tears that once represented sadness have become a promise that they will never ignore what their heart has been trying to tell them again. And just when they believed nothing else could surprise them, another unexpected realization entered their mind, one so powerful that it left them completely speechless. Don't skip. Because this next truth changes everything. They finally understood that love was never asking them to be perfect. It was asking them to be honest. For months, maybe even longer, they believed they needed the perfect timing, the perfect circumstances, and the perfect words before taking a single step forward. But suddenly they realized perfection had only been another excuse created by fear. The only thing that ever mattered was courage. Stay till the end, because something huge is waiting for you. They remembered every opportunity they allowed to pass, every moment they almost reached out, every second they convinced themselves to wait just one more day. Looking back became almost unbearable because they could clearly see how close they had been all along. Yet instead of giving up, something extraordinary happened inside them. Regret transformed into determination. Doubt transformed into hope. The person who once believed their tears were a sign of defeat now understands those tears were washing away everything that kept them trapped. They have started walking toward a completely different version of themselves, a version that refuses to let fear write the ending of this story. Now listen carefully, my beloved child, because the next chapter begins at the exact moment their heart refuses to stay silent any longer. Don't skip. Every emotion they buried is now rising to the surface with incredible force. They can no longer distract themselves. They can no longer convince themselves that time alone will solve everything. Deep inside, they already know a conversation is coming, one that has been delayed for far too long. Stay till the end, because something huge is waiting for you. Before that conversation happens, one final test will appear, and it will reveal whether they are truly ready to leave fear behind forever. This test won't measure their strength, it will measure their honesty. The choice they make in that moment will determine whether these tears become the last tears of silence, or the first tears of overwhelming relief. And when that decision is finally made, a truth that has been hidden from the very beginning will come into the light, changing everything you thought you knew about this connection forever. The final barrier is no longer outside them, it is inside them. My beloved child, don't skip, because the next few moments carry the answer they have been searching for through every sleepless night. They have stopped asking whether they still care. That question disappeared the moment they realized your memory had survived every attempt to erase it. Now they are asking something much bigger. If I stay silent today, will I regret it for the rest of my life? That single question has become impossible to ignore. Stay till the end, because something huge is waiting for you. Their tears are growing quieter, not because the emotions have faded, but because clarity has finally arrived. They understand that some people are impossible to replace. Some connections refuse to disappear, no matter how much distance stands between two hearts. They can almost feel the moment approaching when everything hidden will have to be spoken aloud. Every heartbeat pushes them closer. Every passing hour removes another excuse. The fear that once controlled them is beginning to lose its grip, replaced by an overwhelming determination to stop living with unanswered questions. And then, without warning, one final realization strikes them with incredible force: they were never truly afraid of speaking. They were afraid of discovering that they had waited too long. That thought shakes them deeply, but instead of breaking them, it gives them the courage they have been searching for all this time. There is something they have never admitted to anyone, and this secret explains every tear that has fallen. Don't skip. Whenever they imagined their future, one face always appeared before anything else. They tried replacing that vision with new plans, new goals, and new distractions, yet the same picture returned every single time. That frightened them because it proved this connection was stronger than logic. Stronger than pride. Stronger than the excuses they had repeated to themselves for so long. Stay till the end, because something huge is waiting for you. They finally understand that life keeps giving quiet opportunities before it gives unforgettable lessons. They don't want to become someone who looks back years later wondering what might have happened if only they had chosen courage over fear. That is why the tears have become so meaningful. They are no longer signs of heartbreak. They are the final release of everything that kept them from becoming honest. The silence that once protected them has now become the very thing they cannot bear anymore. Every second feels like a countdown toward a moment they know is coming. They cannot stop it. They no longer want to stop it. Deep inside, they have already made a promise to themselves that this story will not end with another unanswered feeling. Now the atmosphere has completely changed. My beloved child, don't skip, because the next chapter begins where fear finally loses its power. Stay till the end, because something huge is waiting for you. They can feel a turning point drawing closer with every breath. The tears that once carried sorrow now carry hope, and hope is far more powerful than they ever imagined. They are standing at the edge of a decision that could reshape everything they believed about this connection. They don't know exactly how the future will unfold, but one truth has become impossible to deny: they would rather face an uncertain tomorrow than spend another day hiding behind silence. The next step they take will reveal whether destiny has been quietly guiding both of your paths toward the same unforgettable moment all along. And when that moment finally arrives, the words they have held inside for so long will no longer remain locked in their heart. The silence will break, the hidden truth will rise to the surface, and what happens immediately afterward will become the most unexpected chapter of this entire journey.